What is going on, Wastelanders? It is me, Lone Vault Wanderer, with a Fallout 4 video. Now, the topic of this video is how Bethesda thought about multiplayer with Fallout 4. Now, the article that I'm talking off of is linked in the description below as always, but I will be highlighting the main points. So the article is entitled, "There is no multiplayer in Fallout 4, but some ideas were tossed around." Todd Howard told Mashable at E3 2015 that, quote, "Believe it or not, every time we do a game, we design a multiplayer mode just to see what we would do." The article continues that Howard and his team sit down and figure out what multiplayer might look like for the game they're working on. Pre-production is the best time to do that. Before anyone starts to do serious coding or content creation, concepts and mechanics are written down on paper and discussed. Multiplayer is always in the conversation at Bethesda. Quote, "Then we go, yup, we shouldn't do that. That's an awesome idea that is way too distracting from the main thing we want to do, which is single player," Howard said matter-of-factly. Quote, "I could see ways it would work, but development-wise, they're very different experiences." So, multiplayer has always been an incredibly controversial topic with Fallout fans. We've seen Bethesda try to dip their toe into that market with The Elder Scrolls Online, and the game wasn't that much of a success in my personal opinion. Now, I haven't played it, granted, but from the reviews and the opinions that I've seen on the internet, the game is a bit lukewarm in the sense that, yeah, it's okay, but it's not going to be a Warcraft MMO topper. But bringing the conversation back to Fallout, something that I've discussed in the past, not necessarily multiplayer, I think out and out multiplayer, like your typical Call of Duty Battlefield, would just not work in Fallout, period. I think it's a waste of time. It's completely disconnected with what Fallout is as this open world RPG single player game. But the compromise, I guess, is the best term I can think of in terms of having a multiplayer aspect but still trying to stay true to what Fallout is and always has been, is cooperative campaigns. And this is something that initially I was for, but then my opinion changed slightly and I was completely against any form, not completely against, but I was against for the most part, Fallout 4 having a cooperative campaign aspect where it is technically multiplayer, you can connect online and play with a friend, but it's not multiplayer in the sense of Call of Duty or Battlefield. And the best comparison that I always drew when thinking of a great way that Fallout 4 could implement a cooperative campaign was Borderlands. I think Borderlands does that very well, but as I said, my opinion changed throughout the years after thinking about it and reading people's opinion, and there are so many reasons why a cooperative campaign just would not work with Fallout 4, or if it would work, it would take away so much what Fallout has always been, as I alluded to before, a single player RPG game. Now, I'll link in the description below a past video I've done where I've listed the main reasons why I didn't necessarily think cooperative campaign would be suited to Fallout, but I do just think it's interesting how Bethesda toyed with the idea, and how that with every game that they develop, they actually do toy with the idea, because it's always a nice thought, in my personal opinion anyways, that, well, I love Fallout, but maybe I want to play with a friend on this playthrough. Maybe I've enjoyed the single player experience, but now I want to play the game with a friend. I want to explore the wasteland with a friend, just like I would with a regular NPC companion in the game. My friend, for example, could take the form and fill the shoes of that companion, and it would be interactive in the sense that they would join me on that adventure throughout the wasteland. But again, there are so many technical reasons why that will not work. Look at the video in the description below, I've listed most of them. But at the very least, I'm glad Bethesda has considered the idea and then took a rational, level-headed approach after considering the benefits of having a multiplayer or cooperative campaign aspect in Fallout 4, and then rejected the idea. At least they thought of it in the concept stage, at least they turned their minds to it and weren't completely closed off to the idea. Because I always think it's a good idea for developers to think a little bit outside the box, try to branch out, try to innovate. Multiplayer or cooperative campaign would be an incredible deviation, and some would say innovation, from what Fallout has always been, but still, in my opinion, I don't believe it's an innovation that suits the game of Fallout as it stands right now. Maybe your opinion differs. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please follow me on Twitch and Twitter, the links to those pages are in the description below. And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and as always, keep fighting the good fight.